Hi, folks. Brooklyn Dad here. If you're like me, you are grieving along with many other Americans today after the horrific events that took place yesterday, the horrible mass murder of 19 children and 2 adults in Uvalde, Texas. There's so many different things I feel. I'm angry. I'm sad. I'm scared. I'm angry because this is yet another unnecessary, avoidable massacre that's taken place. I'm angry because every time this shit happens, we have elected leaders who kind of shrug their shoulders and say, thoughts and prayers. Wish we could do something. It's those same leaders that are controlled by the NRA, which should be designated a terrorist organization. How can we not do something after children are being murdered in broad daylight in their own damn school? Or people just going shopping in Buffalo, people worshiping at a church. We're the only country on the planet that has this problem over and over and over again. Oh, our thoughts and prayers. Thoughts and prayers are not cutting it. You've been elected to protect your constituents. Do your job. The House has often passed legislation that then just gets clobbered in the Senate, blocked in the Senate. Don't block it. Don't block it. There are people relying on you. This is ridiculous. Anyway, the whole reason I'm recording this segment is because the episode of Storytime with BDD that I recorded yesterday with my guest, Rosanna Arquette, it was recorded before the heinous, tragic events that unfolded in Uvalde, Texas. So if it looks like we're talking with a complete, unawareness of what happened, it's because we recorded this prior to that. So I'm still going to play this for you because I hope, there's still some very important issues having to do with women's rights. And, I think it's a pretty good interview. And hopefully it's a distraction for some of you who are overcome with grief and sorrow and fear and sadness and all that. So please do watch, do enjoy this show, but also remember to write or call or text your elected representatives and tell them to get up off of their ass and pass legislation for expanded background checks and other common sense gun reform laws. Get that shit done. Protect our kids, protect our parents and grandparents and wives and husbands. Do your job and enjoy the show. Peace. Story time. Welcome to another episode of Storytime with BDD. I'm your host, BDD, aka Brooklyn Dad. Folks, Meryl Streep once said that acting is not about being someone different. It's finding the similarity in what is apparently different, then finding myself in there. My guest today has spent most of her life acting. She's appeared, whoops, hang on. She has appeared in over 70 films, which have earned over $450 million in domestic box office sales. But she's also spent a significant amount of time as a mother, a producer director with two highly acclaimed documentaries, 2002's Searching for Deborah Winger and 2005's All We Are Saying. And she's also an activist. There have even been songs written about her. My goal today in this interview will be to find the similarity and find ourselves in my guest. Please join me in welcoming award-winning actor and filmmaker Rosanna Arquette.
That's sweet.
Welcome, Rosanna. Thank you for being on the show.
Thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here. It took me a bit to get here because I'm so technically challenged.
You know, despite this fancy setup I have here, I'm a little bit of a noob when it comes to the technology too. Believe me.
Well, you got me here. Thank you.
So, first things first, I want to ask you, what do you think about this monkeypox?
Oh my God! Just like the last thing we need right now is this. It just seems like it's just a constant cycle to keep us in fear. It's just like really, and from what I know, it's a seems to be a morphed intense herpes virus, chicken pox virus. It's that same shingle-esque thing that comes up. I don't think there people are dying like COVID in, ventilators from this. It's a bummer. And I think it's just a matter of like, we still have to, I personally, when I go into stores and stuff or I'm going to go on an airplane, I'm wearing a mask. I am. Mm-hmm. I mean, this isn't conquered yet. A lot of people I know are on their second, third round of COVID. And
really?
Yeah. And they're vaccinated and people are vaccinated. And so it's around and it's just about keeping our immune systems as much as we can up and, still washing our hands. And for me, I'm wearing a mask when I'm when I'm in close contact in a store with a bunch of people or if I go to a concert or if I go on an airplane, I'm wearing a mask. Mm-hmm. And if somebody tries to, tell me that I can't, it's going to be a problem for them.
Indeed. I mean, look, we've been back and forth on. I hate to say both sides, but both sides have made their intentions known. This one side says we're going to wear a mask, and this other side says we're not going to wear a mask. So, I mean, now that people have identified themselves or who they are, just kind of, all right, you do you, and I'm going to do
what they
me.
Want to do. I just don't need to, right? We don't need to but listen, I grew up with an anti-vaxxer mom. I understand I understand that. I understand it myself. I understood it. But when COVID happened, and I have to say, because now they've politicized it in such a way where it's like anti-vaxxers. I mean, it's like, what's going on here? Just in terms of anti-vaxxers used to be hippies, and people who are just do I want the government telling me that I got to do this thing? But when COVID happened and people were dying on ventilators, and I knew a few people that I knew personally that died from COVID, and it was a horrible, awful, lonely, hideous way to go. Yeah. And so, and it was the right thing to do. I got vaccinated and I did what we were supposed to do for right now. And I hope that it shifts and changes. And in terms of like, we're going to have, I don't know. Anyway, this is a long conversation, but yes, I did get vaccinated and I am going to wear a mask.
Now, let me ask you, you mentioned your mom, and above all else, after doing my homework on you, I've noticed that for you, family is the most important thing to you. I mean, to the point where you could probably play Dom Toretto's sister in the next Fast and Furious movie. Family is everything.
Or mother. um, no,
How important is family to you?
I love my family. That's a great picture that you got there of our family. And we lost Alexis, and that
Alexis is the second from the left.
Yeah, and Alexis Arquette, who was our trans sister, who, man, this is a great photo session you found. And I had just, my baby was 6 months there. I remember when we did this. Yeah, we really love each other, but it knocked us out, Alexis dying. Just really, it really left a huge open, gaping wound in our family, and everybody processes grief in their own ways. We're coming up to 6 years. We just had, September 11th will be 6 years. I can't believe it.
I'm so sorry for your loss.
And we're just, we all love each other. These are good pictures. Thank you so much. It makes me sad. Yeah, we all loved Alexis, and we all individually had extraordinarily close relationships in our own way with Alexis, and everybody had their great relationship with her. I think, Alexis, I said this yesterday to Brad, who, they, like, before there were the pronouns, they, them, like, the pronouns of they, them happened right after Alexis died. So I think Alexis probably would have identified now as they,
Do you think
she was both? She really was. Since she was 3 years old, she loved to wear, loved to, because Patricia and Alexis are a year apart, so they were very twin flamey, energy together. And Alexis would wear Patricia's dress and twirl and go pretty, pretty, pretty in a circle at 3 years old, So that's who Alexis was. And fortunately, it took my mom a while, and to really, really fully accept Alexis. I think there were periods where she got really scared and everything about it. And then, she was a counselor, and she ended up writing her thesis, about the LGBTQIA community. And I do love my family. I love my daughter, and I spend a lot of time focusing on family and my partnership and all that stuff. But now that's all changing. So
what do you think Alexis would say about comedians that choose to use their voice to crack jokes at the expense of the transgender community?
Alexis would have been very vocal, enraged, and would have had some very profound and funny, and Alexis could go for the jugular in a way that no one God, do we miss that? It's funny but smart, and it's unkind. Ultimately, it's just horrible. It's unkind. Like what is the point of it? What is the point of just to actually, hurt people? What? Stop hurting people. That's the bottom line. And she would not be okay with it. And, she was a pioneer in this community where Alexis Arquette was an incredible actor, and as a male, and then made the choice to want it to be female. And in a time where people were not out there doing this, and yeah, I mean,
I have a question from one of our regular viewers. His name is Jonathan Slater. He says, the Arquettes are such a talented family. Who's the best actor of all your siblings?
oh well, I think I gotta say, like, look at my sister. She's doing incredible work. Her characters she's been doing in these last few years have been knockout performances.
Severance?
From Dannemora to Severance. She's got a new thing coming out that will be that Jay Roach directed that I can't wait to see, called, I think it's called High Desert, that she's also a producer on. I mean, she's really done some, and Boyhood, I mean, she's wins all the awards and is a great actress. I mean, you can't take that away. I would say everybody is amazing, but so yeah, I mean, right now, but my brother Richmond is also an unbelievable actor, and he's kind of chosen not to do that because he writes. But
Richmond is right there in the middle.
Yeah, next to me, and he's between Patricia and I, he's a really incredible actor. And Davey is, I mean, everybody's got their thing, and everybody has their way. So, and I think everybody is talented in their own way. But the work that my sister's been doing, these days are just like, can't, like, oh my God, it's like, wow. I mean, in Dannemora, I was like, I forgot she was my sister. And so, like, I did, like, I was like, fuck. I mean, it was, wow. Yeah. So, yeah.
I'm sure I have not gotten you in trouble with any of your siblings.
No, everybody is great. But Alexis, there's a movie, God, just everybody is talented there. A movie called Jack Be Nimble. Is it Jack Be Nimble? That they're going to show at the, not the Academy, but something in New York, the huge moving picture museum thing. I can't, and it's that'll be happening, and that's an incredible performance of Alexis that I'm so excited. It's a New Zealand film from New Zealand, and Alexis is amazing. Very cool. I'm excited that will happen.
Jack Be Nimble.
Yeah.
Is that viewable anywhere else? Streamable?
I wonder if you can find it on where you can find movies. I know, streaming. Like, I wish it's hard to find my documentaries anymore. I just wish that Showtime would put them back out, because they had both of them, Searching for Deborah Winger and the music documentary. It'd be really cool if they would put it on streaming, but I don't know why they don't, but what do I know? Anyway. Oh God. That's a baby picture.
It is. You spent your whole entire life acting, but what I want to ask you about is that on your website, the bio describes your growing up experience as growing up in a bohemian atmosphere of gypsy-like travel and communes. What was that like?
Well, we lived in a commune in Virginia when we were kids, and David was actually born there. And, it was, as a child, it was like a magical time. But I think what I loved most about it was community and activism. My mother was a real activist. I mean, we grew up that way. And, from her peace marches that she organized, the anti-Vietnam War. We lived in Chicago. Patricia was born in Chicago. There were a lot of love-ins, peace-ins, music around, musicians, artists, poetry readings, because my mother was a poet. The rest of it, Patricia's a great poet, and my daughter is an amazing poet. I am a terrible poet. But she did give that. And but I long for that time, especially the time was also like where there was more hope and there was love and peace in our veins. there was the hope that that's what we're going to achieve. We lived in a kind of trying to have a utopian experience, the parents, and then there were a lot of dysfunctional adults in this world that kids are navigating. But I remember we were in Virginia, and they were showing Fiddler on the Roof in the movie theater. So after all the kids saw it, we like built our own little Anatevka village, and played house, and pretended like we were Jews living in Russia. It was very funny. I will never, it was a great experience. But the thing that was very hard about that was great in the commune where we were with these really interesting, cool, left-wing, smart people. But we had to go to school in the town. And so one of my first, it was in Bentonville, Virginia, and there was a 3-room schoolhouse. And so my first experience was getting picked up in the school bus. And first day, didn't know anybody. So I saw some nice kids in the back. So I went and sat in the back. And when I was leaving to get off the bus, the driver leaned over and she goes, "Oh, you're just a little N lover, aren't you?"
What?
Because the kids were Black. And so
what year was this?
This was
60s.
This was early 70s, like the very early 70s.
Damn.
Yeah. Let's say 71. So
to a little girl. That's why they say racism.
Maybe 70. And so
they say racism is taught.
You bet it is. And so, speaking of which, we go into the school, and I just kept my place in the back of the class with the cool kids, and it's like, okay. And I told my mother that. She was and this teacher who whipped kids, said that the South had won the Civil War. Or teaching that. So when I told my mom that, she was like, okay, like, this is not good. And she came in, and then I was like a troublemaker, and then I went to this intermediate school there, Front Royal, Virginia, intermediate school. I was there. And so, my friends were all my friends were Black, and I had wonderful friends, and had go to their house afterwards, play dates and stuff. And but one day I got jumped by a bunch of scary redneck boys. It could have been a lot worse, because it would have been. But they put dog shit in my mouth, and punched my, like grabbing my newly budding boobs that hurt so bad. Like, it was horribly traumatic, and they were going to rape me. And then one of my friends' big brothers, they drove by and saw it and came out, and I came and broke it up. And then it was turning into, like, it was going to be like a complete race riot. It was very weird. Like, people came, and rednecks, and it was like I'm in the middle of it. And my mother just happened to be driving, like, through she had gone to the laundromat or something, because we had a laundromat then. And she saw me, and I was like, I stopped the car. I said, "Get me out of this town. Like, I don't want to, I'm not going to school. This is not okay. What's happening here?" So I ended up moving to New Jersey, with friends of my family, and lived and went to South Orange Junior High for a while. In Maplewood. I lived in Maplewood for a little while and went to South Orange Junior High.
Wow. Is that better? Is that a better experience?
Yeah, I had great friends there too. It was much better for me. I'm not just seeing the laws they're be implementing in the South, like that feeling, I have amazing friends that live in Tennessee and might, have, lots of people live in the South, but these laws that are coming and the racism that's there and the hoods of KKK, like it seems like it's rearing its ugly head. It's always been there, but it's now like we're wearing our hoods in public and we're running like it's scary what's happening.
Well, they've clearly been emboldened,
Yeah.
by the former guy.
Yeah.
Did you, so it's clear your parents were activists, which meant that they were actively working towards passing on a better world to their children, to you and your siblings. Do you think they would be disappointed where we are today?
Oh my gosh. My mother, oh my gosh. Yeah, they would be up in arms and doing everything they can to organize, vote, registration. My mother was an organizer. She would have done everything to counteract that and been furious. Because it's just like there's no respect at all. They're just blatantly not respecting the law. I still don't like how. Look at, like, we know that if it was, and we were all on the streets for, Black Lives Matter, anybody who had a soul, and oh my God, this is just a terrible time. It's so scary what's happening, and it's scary for our kids. And I'm sorry, I just got off my ADD. I'm sorry, I'm ADD, and just lost my train of thought for a minute because I started going into the march. But what I was going to say was, if this had been all of us storming the Capitol, and we'd be dead in jail, hung, like that would have been shot everybody. It would have been done. Like, it's like, what is this?
Yeah.
What is this?
It feels like sometimes it feels like we've taken a step back instead of 2 steps forward.
Oh yeah, we've taken many steps back. And everybody's exhausted. We're exhausted because we've just had to. Oh, there goes. Did you hear that? There he is. That's the.
Is it your guy, your landscaper?
Yeah, he's just the gardener's there, and he makes that. They have that blower thing, but they're very sweet guys. But I'm sure if it becomes too noisy, I'll ask them if they can.
I didn't hear anything.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
I don't like those blowers, and I wonder if everybody can get so sick from the smell, the fumes. It must be so dangerous. I actually bought a thing for them so that they could have the one that just plugs in. I don't know what happened to it, but they don't use it.
I have the battery powered.
Yeah, that's better. It's better, and it doesn't make noise, and it's better for them. It's unhealthy for them. Anyway.
Well, I want to switch gears a little bit, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, get me off this train.
I wanted to jump onto your acting career.
Okay.
So the movie Desperately Seeking Susan was like a snapshot in time. So the whole premise was based on a classified ad, almost like that song, if you like pina colada, because these 2 people, right? Susan and her boyfriend, they're staying in touch through the classified ads. Nobody's using classified ads anymore. It's text messages, and technology. We were talking about technology before we started this interview. And it's kind of swept us away into something else. So my question is, are we missing something from that time back in the 80s of innocence before the internet? Were connections more real and fulfilling back then?
I think they were. I think that just by the instant connection of internet and texting is like Facebook, like the whole thing that started with connecting, actually in a spiritual way, for me anyway, it feels very disconnected. That's just how I feel about it, though. What do I know?
Hmm. Yeah, no, I agree with you. I 100%.
Yeah.
Now, if memory serves me correctly, you didn't even catch up to Susan until like almost the end of the movie. But
Yeah.
the pictures I have of the two of you, it looks like you were both having a total ball. Is that how you remember it?
Yeah, we were close in those years. We were pals. Like we hung out. I brought her to a anti nuclear uh, uh, march. I brought her with me. We went to see Prince together. We were friends for quite a while. Yeah, that was a great concert. That was in Purple Rain time.
That's one of my big regrets. I never got to see Prince
Ah,
live, and he's like my
yeah,
favorite.
those days were just amazing. Yeah, I mean, he was I knew him, and we were he wanted me to do Under the Cherry Moon, actually. And was kind of
Oh,
pissed that,
shit.
yeah, because I and he was kind of pissed off at me that I didn't, but he ended up we were friends for a while, and then in fact I have, you know what, I want to show you something neat.
Yeah, bring it, bring it.
I got this in an auction.
Ooh,
You know, I would
nice.
die for you. Ooh, I would die for you. And I got it at an auction for Apne App, which helps combat sex trafficking in India. So
Oh, nice.
I had to have that. So
Well done.
yeah, and but I loved Prince and he was great. And then I ended up not doing that movie, but he won. Oh, you hear it? Okay, no, you don't hear it. This is good.
Oh, wait, no, because I can't hear your guy because the guy across the street from me
Is doing the same thing.
it's that
That's
time.
so funny.
It's that
That's so
time.
funny.
Yeah.
Um, anyway, what was I saying? So when he did the movie Under the Cherry Moon, he invited uh, Joni Mitchell and I to attend the premiere, which happened to be in Wyoming for
Hmm.
MTV person who won the contest to have wherever it was going to be their premiere would be in their hometown. So it ended up being I think in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, actually, and he flew us there, and
Wow.
and yeah, and so we were friends for a long time. And the last time I saw him was he played Coachella, and I used to shoot the backstage interviews at Coachella, and his guy that was his bodyguard was like, you couldn't even get to him. I was like, hey, Prince, will you do the interview with me? And he was like, yeah. And then they took him away. He was like, no, you're not, no. And so I didn't get the interview, which was such a bummer.
That sucks. But still, all right. You mentioned, you just mentioned that you used to do the backstage interviews at Coachella.
Mhm.
I have to say, I do want to discuss your interviewing skills because they are superb.
Oh,
And specifically, I want to discuss Searching for Deborah Winger, which was a magnificent documentary. You know, but there's some other things I want to cover before we get into that, if that's all right.
thank you.
Um,
I'd like to discuss that. It's a long time ago, and we were kind of still here discussing you know, these
Very relevant
challenges
issue,
that women have these days. Yeah.
indeed. So I actually think After Hours was the first Rosanna Arquette movie I've ever seen. What lessons about acting or show business did you take away from that movie?
Oh, lessons. Well, I truly love working with Martin Scorsese, who I've gotten the pleasure to work with actually three times, once in an acting thing that David Sally directed with
You guys are
Ileana.
working all night on that, right? Like,
Yeah. So, but in After Hours, we did, and it created you started like at 4 p.m. and went all night long. So it created this giggly, when you're exhausted too, but it created this vibe that was great. And Griffin and Don and I are friends. We knew each other because we met doing on our way to going to Poland to do a movie called The Wall about the Jews in the Warsaw Ghetto. And so we became great friends. And he is a producer of this movie, Baby It's You, I did, which is a John Sayles film. And he produced After Hours with Amy Robinson. And I love him. Great pal from year. We don't see each other, but when we do, it's just like, hey, like family, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
He makes me laugh more than anyone on the planet.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. So 28 years ago today, Pulp Fiction premiered at the Cannes
Oh, wow.
Film Festival. Oh, wait, sorry. It was 28 years ago yesterday. Now, was that one of the craziest movies you've ever been in?
I mean, I craziest maybe. It's great filmmaking, and Quentin Tarantino is a master, and I loved working with him. And it's funny because he's a rehearser. He rehearses like a play, everything. And it was and so you get to know everybody, you get to know people on the set. I really enjoyed that experience, and I guess he's remaking SOB apparently, and yeah, which I was the hitchhiker, one of the hitchhikers in that when I was really young, and yeah, she led.
That was from the early 80s, I think, right?
Very, very early 80s, yes, or 79, I think maybe. Yeah.
Now I understand that Pulp Fiction. You're probably not going to enjoy this segment very much, but I got to get through this. Pulp Fiction was a Harvey Weinstein production, and you had the misfortune of having to meet him, and you became one of the first people to step up and speak out against him. What made you step forward when doing so meant that you were gaining?
You lose everything. You lose your career. You mean coming out and doing it, and people in Hollywood still defend him? It was hard. It was hard. It's still hard. But he really harmed many people's lives and careers in a profoundly huge way that impacted their lives. And so it was a decision I made to just tell the truth, because I always think the truth, sets people free. And in this case, it did many women. I think I was lucky that I was not raped. I wasn't. I had a gross experience, but I was not raped. But I have, close friends of mine who were, and their lives, are shattered from that time still, and will still work. They're still working through it. But I'm pretty proud of the fact that we all did do this, and he is in jail. And there's a lot more. There's other women who haven't come out yet in Los Angeles, and one was 16 at the time.
Were you afraid that you were never going to be able to work again after coming out?
I think it's impacted me. I mean, a lot of things have gotten sabotaged. Like I get close and people want me, and someone shuts it down. So it's definitely impacted.
Gee, God damn! Even today.
Yeah. I mean, I would even say it's not paranoia, but I mean, I have things that I'm doing, and I just keep quiet about it, and I work. But the opportunities that were there aren't as much. And I also spent, the last 13 years kind of not going on location and doing all that stuff. So now I'm going to be able to do that, and that will open me up to be able to go back to work, but it's really horrible when so many people that you would think would be, those are all my beautiful women I love.
This was after you learned that he was being convicted?
Right? Oh God, the stress of that time was so overwhelming. I really love Ronan Farrow and his deep journalism and getting into how horrible it was. That and the kind of Mossad spying stuff that really did take place, and they did everything to try to spy in our lives.
Harvey Weinstein had people spying on you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Unreal.
Yeah.
Unreal.
Who knows? I mean, I look at, as a human being, I've often wanted to actually go in there and interview him, because you know, I am a person that does believe in redemption and forgiveness for people who are willing to change and work on, you know, I did this, I'm wrong. Like, you know, his whole life would have been turned around. Like, I mean, he's denying everything, and there's proof everywhere. And it is tragic, because the bottom line was, this man was he was a great producer, and he had great taste in film. He did. And you can't take that part away from him ever. I mean, he was. So I'm not like, I'm not going to say anything good about him. And that is really a loss for a lot of, for you know, that company, the films that were put out. It's horrible that happened, and that this deep rooted sickness took hold of him and destroyed his life and his family. It's horrible.
Yeah.
You know, I feel bad for any human being that ruins their life because of sex addiction. And there are a lot of people that, because that bottom line is that it's a deep sickness.
Now, this documentary that you made, Searching for Deborah Winger.
Can I tell you right now that I've never seen this one sheet.
Oh, I spent a lot of time searching.
It got taken. I couldn't, you know, they just put it out on video, and it was like so weird. But I never saw that one. I like it.
Well, this movie came out, or you produced this movie, you directed and produced this movie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well before the Me Too movement, well before that. But I wonder,
years ago.
What's that?
22 years ago.
Yeah. So, but I wonder if what you went through with Harvey, like, because I also understand that he saw to it that the money that you made in Pulp Fiction, you were paid less than you should have been paid. And I wonder if
everybody else got these incredible deals of back end and stuff, because what had happened was that my incident happened before I did the movie. Quentin wanted me in the movie, and I did the movie, and and so whatever, Quentin wanted me, I was in it. And I was happy to be in it, but the deal was that, you know, everybody worked for scale, nothing, and you made money in the back end. That movie made a fortune, and I never, everybody got that, but I didn't. I mean, the main, you know, actors that had been working for years got that, but I didn't.
So I guess my question is, did your experience, that specific experience with Harvey Weinstein, did it inform your decision to do this Searching for Deborah Winger? Was that part of the motivation behind? But so let me just explain to the audience here. Searching for Deborah Winger is a fantastic documentary. I highly recommend you check it out. Just Google it. It's brilliant. There's so many celebrities in there. They're all women, all powerful women in Hollywood. And you would think, when I say the word powerful, you think, you know, they have power. But what you exposed in that documentary is that every woman in there that we, you know, see, oh, she's got it made. Everybody's questioning, how are they going to move forward in this industry? How am I going to, what kind of decisions do I have to make for my family? For me as an actor, there are so many unfair expectations and demands as far as aging is concerned. As far as you know. Anyway, damn it,
Balance. It was all
I
about balance. Balancing. How do you balance your life with
yeah.
your art? And that's always been like kind of my challenge. That I opened the film about with the red shoes, a clip of the red shoes, which cost me a fortune, but it was worth it because that was the first movie I ever saw. But it's also a movie about a woman who, can't make that choice of can she have her art, dance, and her relationship? Does one, cut out the other? Like, can you have both? Can't we? Why can't we? And it's like it's someone who really gets that that's an important part of you, your work, your art, who you are, would accept that in you and want that. But it's really hard. It's hard when you have kids. And for me, like, my career did take a back seat along with the Harvey Weinstein stuff too. But there were periods where it's like it was hard to go on location and leave my kid. And so I tried to and all my great women friends who are great actresses, Zoe, that's my daughter. She's my baby. I love her so much.
Zoe.
Yeah. And she's an extraordinary actress, actually. And so is Coco, David's daughter, and Harlow is doing a movie right now that is really exciting because I love this director. Is Rebecca Miller, and that's so exciting. So, yeah, next generation, and yeah, I don't know, what am I saying? So I get lost.
What made you choose Deborah Winger?
This is what I get for doing this 16-hour intermittent fasting. Like, don't do an interview without eating food. It's like, what? It's just like my blood sugar. Okay. Anyway.
Yeah. What made you choose Deborah Winger as the subject for that movie?
I just love her. I always loved her. She was kind of like the star, when I was up and coming, and was like, and she's just always a badass, great voice, very just said, people would say, oh, she's difficult, but she was saying what she needed, and they didn't like it because she was a woman who was strong. And she left the business for a long time. And now she's going back to work, which I'm really happy about. But I could have said searching for Jane Fonda at that point too, because Jane had given up her career for a long time, disappeared for 10 or 12 years.
She's in the movie. She's in the documentary too.
Yeah, she is. She has a beautiful, her thing about talking about when we really get that feeling, when you get it and you're in it and it takes you to this other place. It's a very beautiful moment.
Yes. She said that there were 8 moments in her career when she experienced that transcendence where everything was clicking in the right time. Yeah.
I'm very fortunate in my life that she's somebody that I not only admire, but she's like a soul friend of mine, and I love her so much. And my mentor, I love her.
I think what I appreciated about that movie was that, as I said earlier, it's all these really very famous, very talented actors. You had Salma Hayek was in there, Meg Ryan,
Alfred
Woodard, right? Gwyneth Paltrow, Vanessa Redgrave. I mean, this was a who's who was in there, but you boiled it
Diane
down.
Lane.
Yes, Diane Lane had a lot of good quotes in there. You basically boiled it down to the point where these women were very relatable. You take away their celebrity and fame, and they're just talking about life stuff. And that ties into what I was saying in the very beginning of this show, in my introduction to you. I was referring to that quote from Meryl Streep, where you see where acting is the act of letting someone finding the similarity in what is apparently different, right? And so your documentary allows the viewer to find that similarity. There, you see what I just did? I don't know.
Yeah,
Did you see what I just did?
I like it's true. We, um, I'm proud of that documentary, and it's I'm learning to take compliments in a way, but and being able to really acknowledge that is it's a good moment, and they're showing it in colleges across the country, which is neat. And I it could have a whole new audience right now, because all these women are just extraordinary, and in the work that individually what they do, and also in the world. A lot of them are activists. Robin Wright is in there.
Robin Wright Penn, yeah.
She was Robin Wright Penn in those years.
Yeah.
But she's and her two kids have just who are great actors. They're in a movie that my daughter is in a movie, Signs of Love, that is coming out, which is exciting. Yeah.
Do you think it's time to do a part 2 of that of that movie?
I'd love to do that.
You know, because times have
And
changed.
revisit everybody in that film, and some more. Wonderful new young talent out there, or just women. There's so many other women I'd love to have talked to. I'd love to talk to Helen Mirren. I'd love to talk to Regina King. Viola.
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many incredible women working, and this conversation needs to continue more than ever right now.
Indeed, and you're the person to pick it up where you left off.
We'll have to just give me that financing, and we're on. It's hard. I have lots of things that I want to do, and it's hard right now. I think people are really afraid. They don't know what's going on, and but the bottom line is, people are always going to make art, and art. That's a conversation, a documentary, but music and film, and art's going to save us. It does. It heals, and so I look to the artists now more than ever to please, in the 70s, we had that. 60s, we had, today's Bob Dylan's birthday. He always wrote protest songs, or what was going on, and commenting on society in a way.
Your T-shirt is Bob Dylan.
Yeah, it's my Bob Dylan T-shirt. That it's actually a kid's T-shirt, and it was so cool. It was like I got it. So the kids section, I was like, I think I can wear that. So, but anyway, those artists, Mary J. Blige does that. She writes about relationships and struggle and pain, and I love that. And the poet, the rappers that write what they see, but are poets, oh my gosh, my brain, butterfly.
The rappers that write, they're poets.
He won
the things
Kendrick Lamar.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's a poet.
Brilliant. Yeah.
So I such great artists. I love Q-Tip. I love a lot of the artists that are women that are out there right now. And the kids, I never really knew Billie Eilish's music, and it's not like. And then I saw her documentary, and the way she was raised was so much like our family, just humble and cool and great great parents, really great parents, and what she's doing and how she's touching young people, and with her own activism, and her brother, the two of them, and it's powerful. You know,
Mhm.
it's really, it's powerful for kids to feel like they can relate. And she's saying it's okay to be who you are, and she's putting it out there to these kids. It's important. We need artists like that.
Indeed. Now, since we're on the topic of singers,
Yeah.
um, you yourself have inspired quite a few people to write some songs about you.
Yeah.
Um, Peter Gabriel wrote the song "In Your Eyes," and Steve, I want to say his last name is Porcaro.
Well, Steve Picard didn't write the Rosanna song. It was actually David Page who wrote that song. But I was in a relationship with Steve Picard, who also wrote Human Nature on Michael Jackson's record. He was so we
Oh,
already,
no shit!
yeah, he did.
Oh,
And
that's a
I
great
was, I was
song.
there. I was there when it was recorded. And but David Page wrote the song. And yeah, so funny because I just saw Ben Mankiewicz was just here earlier in the week, and we did an interview about this song because they're doing a profile on a CBS thing for Toto. So
About Rosanna.
about the song Rosanna, yeah, so funny.
Yeah, I was. So I was going to ask you:
So
are you?
David and I were in Boyfriend and Girlfriend. I was just there at the studio a lot, and around with Steve, and so he was inspired by the name, and it worked in the name, and you know, and but he did, you know, he did you know, play it for me and all that. So
I mean, that's cool as hell. There's not too many people who have hit songs written about them, and you had two.
well,
You
this is
gave them.
another thing so funny is I met Pete Townsend at, you know, some concert, Who thing, and we got talking, and I told him that because I always use music to work to get me in emotion. I always have earphones and music that will put me into it's always music that gets me to the place I need to be emotionally in film. Always, it's always been that way. Well, but for some reason, the song is over, and it was in this like "Baby It's You" years ago. I used "The Song Is Over" like the beginning of the piano thing. I don't know. It just put me where I needed to be, and I told him that. And then I saw him years later. Like he goes, "I wrote a song after you told me. I wrote a song for you." And his manager was supposed to send him. I have no idea what the song is. I don't know what it is, but apparently Pete Townsend did write some kind of song that was inspired from this conversation we had. And so I would love to hear that. I would love to hear that. That's so funny. And Q-Tip really loved, because I interviewed him in my I had a podcast, short-lived, 20 episodes. I'd really love to do that again. Most likely got sabotaged.
Radical Musings.
Yeah. And I interviewed Q-Tip in there, and but he one night, like he called me with, and he left me a message, and it was like music. It was him talking to Rosanna, like, and he had written this theme song, and it was so cool. And I really wanted, it was so cool. But it was after this whole thing kind of fell apart. He was like, "That's a bummer. You know, you can do your own thing anytime you want." Like, and he was, that was so sweet. So yeah.
Q-Tip is my dude. I love Q-Tip.
I love him. He's great. And he yeah, Tribe Called Quest, and he's one of the great producers. He produces everybody now. He's a prolific song, you know, writer, and works with people, and he's a great person.
I have another question for this is from Jonathan
Here we go.
Slater.
Well, this almost got me killed a few times.
He wants to know, you know.
Yeah, I will tell him exactly what happened. It was after the El Paso shootings, and this is, you know, here we are again, and it just happened in Buffalo. A racist, horrible killing, racist killings of Black human beings. Like, so yes, it came out of that, and And that's it's clumsy. It's I said it in reaction to this shooting that happened in El Paso. That's what happened, and I said that because
Can I tell you?
yeah.
Can I tell you? Look, I don't think you have anything to be ashamed of or to apologize for. I personally, I hear you.
Yeah,
I feel
I'm
you.
lucky. Because I have this fucking color of skin. I am not born with the struggles that my Black brothers and sisters have, and that's just the way it is. And it's
I think
horrible, and I feel bad. I do feel bad about it. It's like it doesn't. It feels horrible to me. Like, why is it like this? And now we're seeing it worse than ever. It's horrible what's happening, and these killings just it came through in West Hollywood. Nazis came through and were trying to hurt and beat people up, and even to Beverly Hills. And apparently, maybe it's a rumor, but we're learning, LAPD and all these cops in Minnesota, like there's a lot of racism in the police force, and how are people supposed to survive? Like when every kid, who happens to be Black is in their car and they get pulled over and they think, it's forever living like they're going to end up like George Floyd. It's not okay. I sometimes hate it here so much that we're living in this. It's awful. And yeah, I understand that I'm privileged. I get it.
and there's nothing wrong. I think there's nothing wrong with let me put it this way. If more people would recognize, would check their privilege, so to speak, we wouldn't be having the problems I think that we do today. But unfortunately, we spent 4 years in this country where the the ugly racists were emboldened to come out and take off their hoods and say, "Hey, it's cool to be racist now."
Yeah, and Donald Trump did that. He opened the Pandora's box. He gave permission to the racism that's been there always, just waiting to explode. And he said, "Come on, folks, let's go." He did it, and he did, and his administration, and he's opened up this awful, awful world. That what are we going to be? I mean, what is this? I mean, you really think women are going to not? I mean, just bow down like this? I mean, in these southern states, and it's hitting. It's the abortion laws that they're implementing, but there's no abortion rights, taking away the rights, is going to impact, in particular.
What's your forecast what's your forecast for November now that we are looking at the possibility of abortion, pro-choice, whatever, women's rights being wiped out across the nation? Do you think that is going to be enough to get Democratic voters to turn out? Not even just Democratic voters. I would like to think that some independent women and Republican women give a damn about having some autonomy over their own bodies. Right?
Yeah, I know. I would hope so. I think they're purposely, all this fear and like monkey virus is coming, it's to control. I mean, it's starting to get so insane, but yeah, everybody needs to go and do what they can do, register people to vote and get out there and vote. You must. I mean, everything is at stake, everything. And I have some incredible friends that are, I really look up to and look to them, know a hell of a lot more than I could ever know. And they're feeling hopeless, and that's scary. So let's do everything we can. I mean, women are going to end up having to impact the economy in a huge way by not showing up for work and boycotts, real boycotts, like people that are giving money to these companies, don't buy it from them, stop. We have to hit them in their pockets. That's it. You have to. It's the only thing they listen to, apparently.
Do you think
That's
do you
what
think
that's what
actors
Iceland did. What?
do you think actors should be doing more with their voices in Hollywood?
I think everybody should do what they feel comfortable with, and what, like, I wouldn't know how to not speak out, but there are people that are really not comfortable that I love and are great artists and think the way I do, but they, and they're working all the time. So maybe there's a reason, but and so like, but and are fantastic and keep their, keep it cool and do it quietly and are not out there like this, and more power to them. I can't tell anybody what they should or shouldn't do. But when it is used, look, like a huge movie star like Tom Hanks, when he comes out and it's like people, he's like, middle America love him, and he comes out and says about something, and you know some people listen, and some, a lot of people just don't care, and it's not, this is not for anything, but that's just who I am, and I don't really care what people think of me. I have spent a lot of time worrying about how people think of me, and it was such a waste of my life. And now it's good to the point, like, oh, people are gonna love you, they're gonna hate you. I mean, it's when you do movies, you can get the most amazing reviews, and I stopped reading reviews a long time ago. Just the one horrible review was just like so crippling and awful that I said, I'm never reading them, good or bad. So it's kind of a good thing to just like disconnect. I don't even watch the movies anyway. So, yeah.
I have another question from Brooklyn Wifey, who's also happens to be my wife.
Oh, that's nice. Hi, Brooklyn Wifey. What's her name?
Tanya.
Hi, Tanya.
Yeah. She wants to know, have your political views ever cost you work opportunities?
I don't know how it did, but I know it did. If you look at the people who run most of the big, networks and stuff, they're owned by big right-wing companies, most of them. So, I was always an independent film girl anyway, and so I can do my independent thing and be happy. And I never ever was like needed stardom or needed that thing. Would I love to do a kick-ass amazing performance, and find something? Yeah, that would be great. Would I love to do a really cool television series and kick ass right now? I would. And if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And I'm kind of surrendered to what it's going to be. And the most important thing in life right now is, for me, is like our planet is really in danger. We're really, really, really in trouble. And I don't think people understand how dire it is. And we're just seeing with the climate change, we're seeing with the storms, we're seeing with new viruses that are coming out and diseases that are going to be coming up more than ever. It's going to happen. And we are in a climate emergency. And that is part of all of why democracy is so important, so that we can actually vote laws that protect human beings and let us thrive for our children and our grandchildren and their future. Because there's going to be no future here. When people are throwing around like nuclear, like the nuclear bomb, like, are you kidding? Like, we're all dead. It's over. Like, no nuclear bombs, guys. No, nobody survives that. It goes off in Europe. We're here. We're fucked. Please.
There's no winners of a nuclear war.
There's no winning here. And it's all this madness of power and greed. And then I do, like, look at Mackenzie Bezos today. Like, I just love her. She's taken this huge money that she got from her, she was there in the beginning with her husband. She earned this money from being married to him, and she has a tremendous amount of money, and she's giving it to really great causes. Like, that's like beautiful. I mean, how much money does a human being need? Why can't these guys just pay? Like, they'll never, like, the people who have profited off this misery in this last 2 years in such a huge way is just like, it's disgusting. How is this happening? And if they would just pay their taxes or just even donate in a way, they could Elon Musk and Bezos and all these guys, and they could Gates, all the big guys could turn it around.
Yeah.
Especially in this country, like they could turn
They
it
could
around
end world hunger, sure.
in a second.
Yeah.
And still be billionaires. Still have enough money to do all their crazy rockets, penises, rocket space things. Rocket penises in space, like, I mean, they can still have enough to do that. Like,
Yeah.
why can't we help human beings thrive? And so anyway, and now, like, boy, how fast did it turn, Elon, like, becoming, well, he was always, I guess, this guy, and that was the whole point, but to be like, Breitbart, dude, it's just like, what is happening here?
He's off the rails. He's
Yeah.
off the rails. Did you hear the story about
Sad.
I don't know if it's true, but you heard about him having to pay someone $250,000, and he
Yeah, what's
offered
the
to
whole
give
deal
him
with the
a
horse
horse.
thing? I just
Yeah.
I lost interest after a while. It's like, I was like, okay, what? So all this was about that sexual harassment story was about to come, and so this was all a setup for that. Like, I'm confused.
Yeah, I don't know.
She said no to him, and then he offered her a horse.
Yeah.
So that was so because he was that like
I don't know. I mean,
is that like that, like that's what I like, a big horse dick? Like, what's the deal? I don't understand what that means.
I mean, look, what's a little suspect to me is that if he did in fact end up paying $250,000, then we shouldn't even have been hearing about this story anyway, right? Because that was the deal. This is the money for your silence, and that's an unfortunate byproduct of these masters of the universe, these guys, these all powerful, rich and wealthy and powerful guys. They don't get held accountable. $250,000 is a lot to somebody like me and you, but is nothing to a guy who's got that kind of cash in the cushions of his couch.
It's like a penny.
Huh?
It's like
Yeah,
a penny for him.
It's nothing. All right. Well, anyway,
I mean, NDAs are suspect, like people sign them, keep their mouth shut, and it's pretty horrible to silence anyone from having been assaulted or harassed in a way to keep their mouth shut to protect a perpetrator. It's awful.
I don't want to wrap our question part on a negative, right? So I want to ask you, are there any projects that you are looking forward to for yourself?
Yeah, I just produced something that with Susanna Grant and Gail Lyons and Rebecca Bender that we're really proud of, and hopefully that finds a great home.
What's it called?
It's called Coercion.
Ooh.
It's about sex trafficking, and it's really
Is it
good.
a documentary?
No, it's a series.
It's a drama.
It's a pilot, yeah.
Oh, so, it's a show.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens with that. And we're excited about that. And it's really good and great actors, and we'll see what happens. Good stuff.
Well, that's excellent.
And I'm supposed to I have stuff that people are coming to me about, and that I wouldn't talk about right now. Anything I talk about gets sabotaged anyway, so it's just like, and it's not paranoia. No, it really happens. So
I believe that.
Yeah, it does. So
I'm a little superstitious.
There's good stuff that's that I have a film that I'm going to direct, and that'll just be a small indie and cool, and We'll see.
I'm gonna knock. I'm gonna knock on wood, and I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed for you because you are good people, and I think good people deserve good things to happen to them.
Thank you. You're really good people. I love following you and everything that you talk about, and hopefully we're all good. We shall overcome, right?
Indeed. But before we overcome, we are now at the part of the show which is my favorite, the part that I love to do so much. It is the guessing game, right? Now, as I explained to you before, I have different categories from which you can choose. There's one, guess the 60s song. Two, name that 80s tune. Three, name that Billy Joel song.
I'm sorry. I know he's a talented musician, but he's just not my kind of music. But sorry.
Not your cup of tea.
I don't mean to be mean, but it's like, it's just not my cup of tea.
It's cool.
Really, Joel.
And
okay.
Last but not least, I should have known that. And this one is pretty much like a trivia thing. It's those things that you swear you know, but then maybe you don't know.
Can I do one from like, can I do 60s in the, no, you only one category. Damn. I kind of want to go to the 60s or the 80s, but I don't know. 60s music was so much cooler.
I think you could probably rock either or 60s or 80s.
I don't know. It's really hard. What should I do, guys? I don't know. See, I can't make a decision right now. All right, just go with the 80s, I guess. No, I love 60s though. The 60s is so much cooler.
You want to do the 60s?
I don't know. Let's just okay, the 60s.
There it is. Okay. So how this works is that I am going to sing as best I can. I am not a singer, but as best I can, I will sing the lyrics to these songs. And when you recognize the song, you say the name of the title of the song. You can say the artist.
Okay.
And if you get it correct, I will ring the cowbell. And if you get it wrong,
oh, okay. Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Here's the first one. You ready?
Yeah.
Hey, where did we go? Days when the rains came. Down in a hollow. Playing a new game.
What is it?
Laughing and a running. Hey, hey. Skipping and a jumping.
Mm-hmm.
In the misty morning fog. What?
Is it Brown Eyed Girl? Okay, Brown Eyed Girl, Van Morrison. Okay.
You are correct.
Okay.
We were looking for. Oh, wait. We're looking for
Van Morrison.
Okay. Brown Eyed Girl.
Okay.
You, my brown eyed girl. Okay. Next one. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Blah, blah. Honey, honey.
Oh, sugar. You are my candy girl. And you got me wanting you. But what the hell's are they named? Archie's? Okay.
You are correct, ma'am. You are correct.
Okay.
We were looking for the Archies with Sugar Sugar. Okay. The next one. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
All the leaves are brown.
Oh, Mamas and the Papas. And the clouds are gray. All the leaves are brown and the clouds are gray. And it's Mamas and the Papas. What the fuck is the name of the song? Then the clouds are gray. On a winter's day. What's the name of the song, though? I know it's Mamas and Papas.
All right, we give you credit for
Oh,
knowing the
what is the name
lyric.
of the song?
Oh, it's California.
California Dreaming and such as oh my God, what is wrong with me? Of course. Jeez. Well, at least I did know it was a Mama's Papa's, and the whole point, California Dreaming. Okay.
So far you are batting 1,000. You were doing very well here.
One more. How many more?
We got a couple more.
Okay, good.
Next one. Some folks are born made to wave the flag. Ooh, they're red, white, and blue. And when the band plays Hail to the Chief, ooh, they point the cannon at you. It ain't me. It ain't me. I ain't no blah, blah, blah.
So it's a Creedence Clearwater Revival?
Yeah.
It
is.
Isn't it a Fortunate Son? Okay.
Hey, yo, just so you know, you are still perfect.
Okay.
Perfect so far. Very good for you.
Okay.
Nobody thought I could remember all these things. Okay, hold on. You ready for the next one?
Yeah.
I need love, ooh, to ease my mind. I need to find time, someone to call mine. But Mama said,
hurry, love. It's a Diana Ross and the Supremes. Yeah.
Still perfect. Only one other person on this show has gotten them all right.
Okay.
And that was John Fugelsang.
Oh, okay.
Huh. You are doing extremely well.
Okay. Okay.
Really? This is impressive. Here's the next one. Oh, man. Imagine me and you. I do. I think about you
together. Turtles.
Oh!
Yay! So happy together.
That was very quick.
Yeah.
And very right. The Turtles, Happy Together.
Okay.
Okay. Oops.
Oh, you just showed it. Okay, bummer. I would have known it. I definitely would have known it. So you're gonna have to find another one.
Okay, sorry about that. Okay.
Oh, don't you love Aretha?
All right, this one might be a little tricky.
Okay.
You keep saying you got something for me.
Oh, like these boots are made for walking Nancy Sinatra. Nancy Sinatra, we love Nancy.
Yes. You know what? I haven't seen her on Twitter in a minute. Is she still on Twitter?
Yeah, she's on Twitter. She is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's on there.
These boots.
I think a record just come out too. Like she just did a duet of her. I forgot the guy's name, but she has a record.
No shit.
Yeah, she's cool.
I like her. We got one more.
Okay.
This is your chance to finish with a perfect score and match John Fugelsang.
Okay.
You ready?
I'm scared.
I thought love was only true in fairy tales, meant for someone else, but not for me. Love was out to get me.
As monkeys, the monkeys. I saw her face, and I'm a believer.
Hey!
Yay!
You did it.
All right.
You did it. You finished with a 100% score. The fans are going crazy right now. They're going wild.
I love them. Remember the monkeys? Oh gosh.
I used to watch the
Yeah,
TV
me
show.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was great.
it was great. It was fun.
Yeah.
It was great. And then yeah, that was sad when Davy Jones died. And then I guess Peter Tork just died too.
Did it? Oh,
Did,
yeah.
no. Did Peter die? Was it Peter? And
Wait.
wait, am I wrong? Oh no, is it
Hang on.
Mike Nesmith? Is
So,
Mike Nesmith alive?
so the guy who's third,
Yeah,
I
that's
believe, is
Mickey
still
Dolenz.
alive, right?
That's Mickey Dolenz.
Mickey Dolenz is still alive, isn't he?
Yeah. So it's Peter Tork. It's Davy Jones, Mike Nesmith, Mickey Dolenz, and Peter Tork.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
I think it might have been Peter and Davy that passed. Am I wrong?
Oh, okay.
I think so. Yeah.
I think you're probably right. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Last but not least is something I call my favorite things. And this is basically, there are no wrong answers. These are just rapid fire questions for you, basically saying your favorite this and your favorite that. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Favorite Tarantino movie?
Well, I mean, I might be a little. I do love Kill Bill too. I gotta say.
Wait.
Favorite Tarantino film? I do love Kill Bill, but I mean, I guess I would say Pulp Fiction.
Okay. Favorite scene from Pulp Fiction?
Well, there's a
There's
scene
only one.
there's a scene when Sam Jackson is reciting the Bible, and there's the kid that's sitting behind the door, and that's Alexis.
Yeah.
That's Alexis.
And I will rain my vengeance
when the
upon
shooting
you.
and the kid comes out and shoots and misses, that's
Yeah.
Alexis Arquette. So
What?
Yeah. That's Alexis.
Holy shit. And we ended up with that from this guessing game. God damn it. That's good.
That's Alexis Arquette. So that's my favorite scene.
Oh, perfect. Perfect.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for that. I got to watch that all over again now.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Alexis is so good. Such a good actor. Oh, he's such a.
Okay. Favorite song from the 60s?
Whoa. Something that would be, God, there's so, come on. In the 60s, so many incredible songs. Well, oh my gosh, this is a hard question because there's so many incredible songs. So, in periods, and I do love the Beatles, but I love Motown too. So, I don't know. That's a hard question. Do I get
not even Bob Dylan, huh? No, Bob Dylan couldn't.
I mean, songs of the 60s.
Wearing his T-shirt for crying out.
It's his birthday. Happy birthday, Bob. And I could, but it would be some of my favorite songs of the 60s. Well, I guess it would be, I Got a Feeling or something with Beatles. That's the 60s.
Okay, we'll take that. Favorite TV show to binge watch?
I'm not like a huge binge watcher, but like if I love Lucy. I love Mary Hartman. Do you remember?
No
Did you
shit.
ever see that? That was such a good show.
I remember that.
Yeah. Binge watch right now. Like now you got Netflix and stuff. You can watch the whole thing, and
Yeah.
So, so currently catching up on Severance. This is my sister's show.
Ah, good one.
She's great in it. And the whole show is just trippy and weird and disturbing. But really good. But favorite binge watching show. currently or in the past? It doesn't have, can be anything like
Either. Yeah, something that you have binge watched that was just incredible.
Succession.
Oh yeah, good lord. Good lord, that took me by
It's
surprise
such a great show.
because I hate the
The writing.
characters. The
No,
characters
but
are
it's
terrible.
extraordinary and it's so smart and it's just great acting and great writing.
Yeah,
Everybody's
indeed.
amazing in that show. And I worked with Brian Cox. I love him so much, and he's, everybody is amazing in that show.
Yeah. Okay. Good one. Very good. I'm looking forward to the next season too.
Yeah.
Favorite Hollywood hangout?
Hollywood hangout?
Yeah. Favorite place to hang out in Hollywood?
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. I'm thinking like, well, no one's been hanging out these days. I don't know if you know this, but we had this pandemic called the pandemic, and it isolated everybody. And so now no one hangs out. So it's
when they resume hanging out.
Yeah, now you hang out like this, but we're isolated, and you're not in rooms hanging out with people anymore. Usually, my favorite hangout, would be at, of somebody who lives in Hollywood's house. I like that kind of hangout. They happen to be
not
actors.
at a restaurant or a diner.
I'm not a there's no, like, yeah. I have a membership to a thing called Soho House I'll go to, there's one in at the beach, and that's nice because you're on the beach and you're outside, and then that's sometimes fun to go to, but I'm not really hanging out these days.
Okay.
It's me and my daughter's cat here right now.
Favorite
my grandcat.
Favorite vegan dish?
My favorite vegan dish. Well, I make a lot of vegan food, although I was vegan for a long time, and I have to say, like, sometimes I have to have protein. I do. I have a little fish, and stuff, and I'll eat once in a while. I will. Sometimes. I'm not sorry for all these.
Shame on you.
I know people are going to be so mad. I'm just being honest. I make really good vegan food, though. I have to say, I love the zucchini noodles, and you can make, it's like, instead of having pasta, you make it with already done zucchini noodles that are like zools.
Oh,
and
okay.
Yeah, and they're cut in a way so that they look like noodles, but they're just made out of zucchini. And then I make a really great sauce, sometimes pesto or sometimes, and then I can put that Beyond Meat sausage in there. It's really good. So
it's not meat.
No, it's not meat.
Beyond Meat.
It's Beyond Meat, and it's delicious. And they have like a spicy sausage thing that's just all plant-based, and you put that in there, and it's pretty yummy.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Favorite actor?
Oh gosh. God, there's such great work. People are doing such great work right now. In the world, had Brando, and then
Marlon Brando?
Yeah. I love Brando. But I love
he could have been a contender,
Yeah,
he could have been somebody.
It could have been somebody. A contender,
Instead
yes.
of a bum.
But I also they're just such great actors right now. People doing extraordinary work. I do love this Idris Elba actor.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I think he's great.
Have you seen The Wire?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good one. That would have been a good answer for binge.
That would have been good. But you know what? I actually, that's something for me to start from the beginning. I should binge watch that. I will do that because I do love him. And are we going to ask actresses? Are you going?
Oh, so I assumed that we were in the era now where actor.
Oh, hello.
Refers to both men and women.
But there's, there are actors, but male and female actors are like, yes, we say actor, but
female actor.
Female actor. Oh God, it's hard because I really love. Well, Okay, my sister is one, and I'll say that because she's great. And then besides, I love Viola Davis. I love her. I love Diane Lane and Laura Dern. Yeah, I love. God, there's such great women up to like. I love Naomi Watts. I love.
You can only choose one.
Why can I only have one? I can't just choose one. Why can I can't. I just my
That's
brain
why they
won't
say
help me.
favorite. There was the
My
word.
favorite actor, male or female, just one. Is that what you want?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, forget it, man. That's too mean. I can't do it.
You already have. You
Okay,
said Marlon
I gotta
Brando.
name them all because I just can't choose one. I can't. But I guess
Okay, favorite
my
singer or
sister's
group?
doing incredible work right now, so she's pretty great. I'll say my daughter Zoe. She's my favorite actor.
Oh, you can't go wrong there.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong. Favorite singer or group?
I love Radiohead.
Nice.
I love Tom York. Love him. And that's another thing. I don't want to choose one. It's just too hard. But I do love that band. I love them live. I love their music. They speak to me.
Favorite Twitter account?
Lincoln's Bible. And you.
Oh, thank you. Lincoln's Bible.
LB.
Lincoln's Bible. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Kale.
Yes.
Kale.
I would say
or
Greg
spinach?
O'Lear, you like there's many people, but
Greg O'Lear has a great podcast. I just listened to it the other day. Oh my goodness, it's so
and
good.
Greg and LB do stuff together. And but if you don't follow her because she's extraordinary investigative writer and journalist, and she knows her stuff. She uncovered a lot of the stuff that we're seeing now. She talked about years ago. Here we are.
Yeah.
So,
All right.
yeah, she would be my favorite account.
Kale or spinach?
I like kale. Kale. No, spinach. Because you can do so much with spinach.
Okay.
Okay, spinach.
Orange juice or apple juice?
I love orange juice, especially with making it yourself. I like to squeeze it yourself.
Freshly squeezed.
I do love it. Yeah.
I don't like pits in my juice. Juice.
Just spit
That's
them out.
it. That's right. That's a gag from The Odd Couple.
Wait. I missed that.
Waffles or pancakes?
No gluten.
Oh, so neither.
Gluten free. I would probably do pancakes.
Interesting. Bagel. Oh, here we go again.
But I do love
Gluten-free
bagels.
bagel or donut?
Bagel for sure.
If you could live anywhere in the world, where would that be?
New Zealand.
Very cool. That's where my wife is from.
So you're so lucky.
I met her. I actually met her on Twitter.
She has a passport. Get over there. What are you doing?
What are you talking about? She's here with me now.
I know, but you got to get out of there and go there. After this, see where this election goes. We get the hell out of Dodge, man. If it doesn't turn around, we're just all fucked. It really is. Get out. I know it's terrible to say, but it's like, whoa, we're not going to live under a fascist regime. I mean, no.
If you could live if you could do any job for a day, what would that be? One job for one day.
Musician.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah. Any particular charities or foundations or organizations close to your heart or that you support?
Yes. The Alexis Project. which is with Dr. Astrid Hagar, the Violence Intervention Program at USC Medical Center, is and it's for the LGBTQ community, and it was started by Dr. Hagar, me, and my family. We had our own foundation called the Alexis Arquette Family Foundation, which we had to fold during this COVID isolation hell, and that was really sad. But before that we partnered with Dr. Astrid Hagar, and so there's a clinic that helps the LGBTQ community thrive.
Is there a website?
And yeah, it's the Violence Intervention Program, VIP, at UCLA Medical Center. Dr. Astrid Hagar, they have a website, and it's all encompassing the work that they do. But within that is the Alexis Project, and her work is extraordinary. She's a child abuse doctor, and one of the people that created the forensic rape kit, and one of my dearest, most favorite human beings on the planet. So we were really fortunate to be able to partner with her in the work that she in particular is doing. And also my sister has an organization called Give Love, which they have these, you got to talk to her, because she really will talk to you about sanitation, and they have these toilets that I can't, I'm terrible at explaining it, but you should talk to her about it, because they're doing it around the world, and it's helping with sanitation, people who don't have running water, toilets. And there's a way they do it with the earth and making the earth fertile. It's just so extraordinary, the science of it. And she can explain it to you, but it's called Give Love, and she does a lot of work.
Givelove.com.
Give Love. Yeah, that's Patricia's foundation. Greenpeace, got to give to Greenpeace.
Indeed.
And Fire Drill Fridays is who basically gives all their money to Greenpeace, which is helping save the planet. Oceana, to help save our oceans. Oh, there's so many, just people doing good work. And Apnea app, last but not least, Apnea app, which is very dear to my heart too. My friend Ruchira Gupta, who gets women and girls out of sex trafficking in India. Girls as young.
That's where you got that Prince, the Prince thing from, right?
Yes. And I guess, and I'm supportive of her work. She's an extraordinary human being that has brought attention to this horrible. It's all over the world now, and it's here in America, obviously, sex trafficking. But unfortunately, it's become worse and worse, and they traffic children, and rape children, and sell them into this slavery. And so a lot of people just thought, oh, it's just in India, it's just in, no, it's actually worse than ever in America.
Well,
so all this, these right-wing people saying, the Democrats are the pedophiles. How about all these Republicans that are getting busted for pedophilia that are in office? What is this? Oh, come on.
Everything they say is a projection.
Huh?
Everything they say is a projection.
Projection and gaslighting constantly.
Yeah.
It's just over it. So we're just all so traumatized, and we're all living in PTSD from this nightmare. But let's turn it around, and that way is going to be get in the voting booth, go send in your ballots, vote, just vote Democrat at this point if you want to have a country that we can actually maybe survive in, maybe.
That's right. Rosanna, I want to thank you again for joining me on my show. This is such a thrill and an honor. You're a wonderful person, and I really feel privileged to have had a chance to sit here with you and kick the Willy Bobo.
Well, I feel privileged too, and I hope to meet you and Tanya when I come back east.
Indeed.
Okay. Nice to see you.
So don't go anywhere. I'm going to see you on the other side. I'm going to say see you later to my viewers, and I'll be right back with you. Just hang tight.
Okay.
And folks, thank you again for joining me for another wonderful episode of Storytime with BDD. I'm your host, BDD, aka Brooklyn Dad. If you have not yet gotten your shot, what are you waiting for? Do it. Do it now. Get the shot. If you are so inclined, wear your mask, keep your social distance 6 feet or better, and have a nice, relaxing, positive week. I look forward to seeing you guys here at the next show, which will be next week. Same time, same place. I love you all. Peace.